Welcome back to Bayou Time. We're talking about a lot of topics tonight. We're talking about the debt crisis that we could be in shortly. Well, we're in a debt crisis, the debt limit. We've been in a debt crisis for some time now. We're talking about Saints. We're going to play some football along with the rest of the NFL. We're talking about bad salts and potpourri have been put back on some stores in Terrebonne Parish that we know of because they have changed the chemical poisons in them to beat the law. So we're going to be doing a little more research in that and tracking down the stores that do it so that we can let you know who has them on the shelves. HTV, welcome to Bayou Time. You're on. Go ahead, please.
Hello, Martin.
Yes.
Hi, yes. I'm calling on about this, what I've been watching on TV, that they have problems with the Social Security and they're supposed to be holding the checks on the people.
Okay.
Are they going to be holding it back on the old people with Social Security?
Your guess is as good as mine. There's so much posturing going on in Washington. I guess we'll know that in a few days. I guess we'll know if it's a bluff either on the Democratic side or the Republican side, but time will tell. I hate to say yes or no because we don't know, first of all, what John Boehner is going to try to move through his arena, and then we don't know what the president's going to say tonight. So I'm a wiser president tonight, but you know what? I don't believe what I hear on either side anymore.
I can't believe that they would do that to the old people because the old people live on that. They depend on that check for their medicines and everything. Yeah. I can't see the president doing that.
I can't either. I'm hoping that it's a scare tactic that's been put out. But you know what? Even if it's a scare tactic on either side, it's wrong to say it because that is money that they've paid into the system for years, and it's nobody's money to do a doggone thing with because it's not theirs to begin with. That's the people's money that put it up. That's the elderly that have paid into the system forever, and they ought to continue to get their money on a timely basis.
I agree with you, Martin Folse. And there's one other thing I needed to ask about the drainage in Homer. They're still having a lot of problems with drainage in Homer. Are they trying to fix that right now?
Well, I can't say that the drainage in Homer, in my opinion, has improved a lot over the last few years. I think, each year parish presidents increase, they're able to correct some of the problems. Do they correct all of them? No, they don't. There's still a problem areas, but I don't think one administration, I've worked with 7 along the way. Each one has done something to further it along. So until the whole thing is tackled, then there are going to be problems. But look what happened in Thibodaux today. Big rain, 2 to 3 inches. You got streets that flood. So drainage is always, to me, going to be a problem in South Louisiana because in order to take care of the problem, we would need pumps that would be gigantic. And it just is not going to happen the way we can afford it. So we're going to have to deal with problems here but if people keep their catch basins clean and they clean things up, it does help things pretty much a good bit.
Okay, well, Martin, you have a good day. This is my first time talking to you. Enjoy your show. Watch it every day.
Thank you so much.
Have a good day.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
HTV, welcome to the program. You're on. Go ahead, please.
Hey, Martin, I want to talk about the fishing.
All right, go ahead.
Friday, we went to fishing down Pointe-Chien, the Lila Jean-Charles.
Yep.
Who got in touch with to go and fish down there? They chased us out. They said we're not supposed to be fishing. The road is beautiful. They're finished. You can park on the side of the road. You need nobody's way. And I'd like to know who can we get in touch with to go fish down there. That's the only place that the people around here, they even have people from New Orleans fishing down there.
Who's telling you not to fish?
Well, the law passed and told us that they were going into a complaint. And by the time they come back, we better be leaving. We better be gone.
What's their reasoning for that?
I don't know. That's what I'm calling you.
That was Sheriff's Department?
The Sheriff's Department.
I'll call the sheriff, Vernon Bourgeois. I mean, I know him well enough to call him and ask him what would be if there's some kind of... I mean, but the shoulders are big enough to park on now.
I mean, the road is wide enough, and the cars are passing 80 miles an hour, but you're on the way. And that's the only place that the people can go fish, the one that don't have no boat.
Yeah, and I'm trying to remember if there's something that sticks in my head that would have been on that area. For that, Jay, does anything ring a bell to you?
I know on the right-hand side.
Jay's telling me the law. If you could just hang for a second, he has it right there in front of him. What is it, Jay? Okay. Okay, what's happening is that the law is still in effect that you can't fish on the shoulder, but the parish president, Michel Claude, told our producers that they are revisiting that law because of the new conditions of the road, and they're going to try to get that lifted.
Oh, okay.
So that's good news.
You know, like I said, they have some people from New Orleans and fishing. And when like I said, the deputy passed, he said, I'm going to a complaint. And he said, y'all better make sure y'all be gone by the time I come back.
That's tough.
And I told the wife, I said, just pick up the rod and reel, let's go home.
Yeah, go pick up drug dealers, not people catching redfish.
And what other place we can go? You know, if you don't have a boat, what you gonna do?
No, I agree. I mean, look, if law enforcement is enforcing the law, I'm all for that. But I do commend the parish president if he's trying to change that law because they have better circumstances. I say give it a reasonable amount of time. Let him make those changes. Let it go through council. Then they make it, and everybody's good to go.
Well, I don't know if you went down there lately, but man, I tell you what, they done a beautiful job.
They did. They raised it quite a bit, and it should be good to go for everybody.
They got people from all over the place coming down there.
Yeah.
You know, just like today, I went to Grand Isle, I went to Fouchon. They had some people from all the way from Ohio. You know, and they say, "Oh man, y'all got a beautiful place over here to fish."
Yeah.
You know.
Well, let's hope it all works out.
And I hope they can open up on Oceana.
Well, no, I know, but
for the people.
From what we hear, he's working on it, so give him a chance, all right?
Okay, Martin.
All right, thank you.
Take care, man.
Appreciate it.
Have a good day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
HTV, welcome to the program tonight. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Hi, Martin.
How you doing tonight?
I'd like to ask a question.
Go ahead.
This law concerning bath salts, I thought it was all over with.
Well, it was on July 15th, but what happened was that the manufacturers of these bath salts and the synthetic marijuanas changed the formula so that it doesn't fall within the unlawful guidelines, and this is what I'm being told, and put it back on the shelf because there's not a broader definition of the law, so they're fitting it in, and they've tweaked a couple of, it might be as simple as you take it, I'm using this as an example, take out the clamshell powder and put in the oyster shell powder. It's that simple. So when you change the composition of what's been made illegal, it falls in they think it becomes legal again. It's crazy.
We need to find out the industries that are making this stuff. I think it's a part of terrorism myself.
Well, and you're right, the National Food and Drug Administration has not stepped up like they should. I think that's going to be the next step because I think this thing is becoming an epidemic. Dr. Oz had a special on it, Dateline had a special on it. We've been talking about it for a year.
But what about other states? I mean, you know, can't they get involved in this stuff and make it a national issue?
There are 13 other states that have made it illegal. Problem is, until the Food and Drug Administration, from a federal level, changes the law, then it can continue to be loopholes in it. It's got to be a broad law where, you know, sort of like they did with ecstasy years ago.
There
Or any kind of thing.
No loopholes should be in there.
I agree. And,
But-
you know, and I hate to say it, it's going to take the death of some prominent person's kid before something gets done. And that troubles me, because there's a lot of kids whose families do not have a voice, and we've been screaming about this stuff and screaming about it. I had a lady whose kid was on my show not long ago who committed suicide, who sat there and told me the whole story. And if I just don't understand how people can manage these stores and even work in those stores when they know they are selling that poison to kids.
Oh, that's
I could not live with myself if I sold that to kids. And it baffles me.
Well, if they've changed the substance and everything, have they changed the color and the name of these salts?
They have. And that's part of the thing. They're marketing it as a whole different...
Under a different name and a package?
Name. Yep, different package, different name.
Wow. So now you would have to find out exactly what the packages look like and the names that they're using.
It's not hard. It's not hard. They're arrogant about it. They put it right up front.
God.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
We need, you think something like this started overseas?
It started in China. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, how can, I mean, if they ship it over here, how can it be caught? Why can't it be caught at the dock?
Well, I mean, there's so many things that I want to say, and I'm biting my tongue because I'm probably going to get fined by the FCC. But the people that are selling this stuff,
they're evil.
You said that's probably a good word for it in my book. I mean,
that is so evil.
And they're opening restaurants in our towns, and they're doing business in our towns. And
you know what? When a child takes that stuff and dies and is at the morgue, they ought to go get the dude that sold it to him and bring him to the morgue and let him see what he's done.
But you know what? That wouldn't make a difference.
Probably not.
They don't care.
No.
They don't care. They know the effects that this is having on the kids. And if they don't know it, look, I know the ones that are selling it know because they've been watching our broadcast and complaining about it.
You even went there and told them face to face.
So they know what it's doing, but they just continue to look the other way and turn a deaf ear because it's all about the money.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to see the packages, you know, and the new names that they come under. I really would.
I'll pick some up. You know, I'll have some people go buy some around town. Yeah. And I'll bring them on the show again. And as a matter of fact, I have law enforcement that I'm in touch with, and in very short order, we're going to have them on this desk right here to go over again what's taking place in the wake of this new wave of drugs that will be putting out to the kids.
Well, I'll tell you, I admire everybody for trying their best to get this solved. But like I say, I still think it's an act of terrorism myself.
It's not good.
It should be handled, you know, nationally.
Well, we're going to continue to do our part. We just need the people to do their part.
Yeah.
All right?
Well, I thank you so much, and I watch you every day.
Well, thank you very much for watching. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
HTV, welcome to the program tonight. Go ahead.
How you doing, Mr. Foster?
Good. How you doing?
I want to know if we get our check cut off, how we going to live, man?
I hear you loud and clear. I hope it doesn't get to that point, and I hope there's a lot of bluffing that's going on. But
This is crazy John, Mr. Foster.
it is. It's nuts. Absolutely nuts. So I mean, I think there's a lot of eyes on the government right now. There's a lot of eyes on the market because the market's going to go where I hope our elected officials are smart enough to know that they have to work a deal out.
Yeah, but you think they bluffing or what?
I do. I think at the last moment there's going to be a deal.
Because I tell you like this, boy, we some crazy coon asses down here. They can't take our money from us. How we going to live? We can't go on the land and live.
Yeah, no, I know. I hear you loud and clear. People are anxious. People are upset. But I think they are going to take it as far as they can, and then a deal's going to be cut.
Right.
Because
they won't give people guns to live off the land, and then you got a problem with us fishing and stuff to get our food for the land too, you know.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword wherever you turn.
And I got cheering and everything.
Well, hang in there, though. Don't keep your fingers crossed.
All right, Mr. Foster.
Thank you.
Talk to you later, buddy.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
HTV, welcome to the program tonight. Go ahead.
Good evening, Martin.
How you doing tonight, my man?
Doing all right.
Good.
Rupert Murdoch, he owns the Washington Post, the Wall Street Journal, and the New York Times. I was surprised you didn't know that.
I did. You teach me something new every time.
I heard today from an interview from the Wall Street Journal. They were reporting that the bond money that's collected in terms of revenue from Social Security deposits earned a $16 billion windfall that Congress and the President was not aware of. And he also mentioned the fact that no matter what happens with the disagreement between the House and the Senate, the ceiling will be raised, and Social Security checks and disability and veterans checks, they're all going to go out this month. We're not going to have a problem with receiving benefits, and I do say benefits, I don't say entitlements.
Right, yes, good point.
The other thing, you gave, I just want to remind people out there that I remember an interview back just before the George W. Bush midterm election, when it was Dick Cheney was having his debate, and he had stated at that time that deficits didn't matter, that every household in the country has a credit card, and it's like using a credit card. Well, now it seems like everybody's saying that deficits do matter. But what we had was the vice president telling us that it didn't matter. Well, I guess it doesn't matter if you don't have to pay for it, and you just can pass it off on another president, you know?
Right. Now, if he did say, I don't remember it, but if he did, he shouldn't have said it. I mean, look what happened to the housing market when people were lying about their credit and everything, and bad credit is bad credit. I don't care where you go. It's
well,
not good.
I'm sure it's going to come up before the 2012 elections, you know?
I'm sure.
They'll probably run and rerun that little comment by Dick Cheney over and over again.
Let me ask you, how you giving me facts, and I trust your facts. You said $16 billion they found out that they had a surplus. How does the president not know that? Who's advising him? You need to go over there and advise him.
Well, the thing of it, the thing of this, Martin, is, you know, rates will change, and terms and contracts will change, and investors, they rewrite contracts all the time, and sometimes when you're running the same contract over and over again, there's no surprises. And then sometimes there's a surprise because there's a change in the term of contract. U.S. Treasuries right now is it's a pretty big thing. It's on the mind of a lot of people who do invest. But what I think, Martin, if this continues to drag on and drag on and drag on, it may not affect our AAA rating. But at some point, the revenue needs are going to outweigh a lot of the political rhetoric. And when Wall Street gets uncomfortable with some of these financing instruments, they have a tendency to raise rates. Now, I know Timothy Geithner, if he doesn't get a result that's consistent with what they're telling him on Wall Street and what he can determine for his own, based on his own experiences, we're going to see a raise in interest. Now, what a raise in interest does, Martin, a raise in the rates of interest means that everybody on a loan pays more interest. Financial institutions make a larger profit. A larger profit raises more revenue for the government. But I don't believe that's a good way in a recession to raise revenue.
I agree.
Especially when we did so well under the Clinton administration, where revenue increased significantly, where we was able to actually produce a surplus, and what we were talking about was just pennies on the dollar.
All right. Now, why you think we did so good in the Clinton years? You know I'm going to throw this at you. Because he moved to he became moderate.
Well, the difference between the Clinton administration and the current administration, Martin, is that this was a severe recession, and under the Clinton administration, the economy and the stock market grew exponentially. The economy right now is very, very bad. It's not growing, and under the Clinton administration, it was growing. So unless we build out the infrastructure and we expand this economy and to prepare for the next round of prosperity, we're going to have all kinds of problems.
But to me, the next round of prosperity, if this president would do what Bill Clinton did, and we all know it's factual, when Bill Clinton was all the way to the left and he got hammered and his popularity was low going into that next election, when he decided that he was going to get rank and file and work with the Republicans, he got reelected and that economy took off. I think this president's studying the wrong person. He's studying Ronald Reagan. See what he did? He ought to take lessons from Bill Clinton and become a little more moderate about what he's doing.
Martin, just today the Republicans are criticizing the Senate Democratic plan because they're saying that they're using the revenue gains by returning the troops back from this war. I could remember only 2 or 3 years ago when Dick Cheney and George Bush says that we have to keep our soldiers out there. We can't bring our troops back over here because Al-Qaeda is going to come over here. But when the reports are suggesting that there is less than 100 Al-Qaeda left in Afghanistan, now all of a sudden the Republicans are agreeing with us, saying that the troops need to come home over here so we can save some money. But at the same time, they're criticizing Democrats for using the gains in revenue that we save by bringing our soldiers back to war.
Let me throw this at you.
That doesn't count.
Let me throw this at you. I think it comes down to trust. When Ronald Reagan closed that door with Gorbachev from Russia, Gorbachev later wrote a book, said, look, when Ronald Reagan closed that door and gave me his word that he's going to do this, but we have to do this because he ain't walking out that room and looking bad for the Western media, and they cut a deal. He knew that Ronald Reagan was going to back up everything he told him he would do, give, and all that. It was diplomacy. The problem is John Boehner saying the president agreed to an amount, shook hands on it, walked out, the president upped it from 8 to 1.2, and then walked out and then tried to put it in at the last minute. Now, I'm not picking on the president or the Republicans and saying one of them's right or wrong because I wasn't in the room. But there's a trust issue that we can't even get past our congressional leaders and the president, whereas another president was doing it with the head of another superpower. I can't figure out why they can't get a deal cut.
Well, Martin, let's remember Ronald Reagan, we trusted him, and he raised payroll taxes the highest we've seen in the history of this country, where we now pay 35% of our income, and we're only netting 65%. That was under Ronald Reagan. He raised taxes 4 times, and he raised the debt ceiling 17 times. You have a good night, Martin.
All right, take care. All right, Jay, what do we have to do? Take a break? All right, we do have to take a break. Appreciate all the calls. We're going to come back. I think we're going to have time for a couple of more, and then we will head to sports. But appreciate all the callers tonight on Bayou Time. We'll be back in a short couple of minutes. Don't go away.